Jaron Boots Ennis, you got to forget about Terence Crawford. I feel like for me, as much as I want to see it, as much as I think that's probably Terence Crawford's toughest fight in the sport of boxing right now, I don't think it's going to go down. And you guys got to understand that, you know, it's the business of boxing that's going to get in the way with it. Boxing would be in a way different place and a better place if we got those kind of fights. But it's all about the business. It's all about, will Terence Crawford make a lot of money fighting a guy like Boots Ennis, in equivalent to the risk that it would take to actually fight Boots? No, probably not. You know, that's why we see Terence Crawford chasing that Canelo fight. He's been calling out Canelo for the last year, ever since he beat Spence in that big hellacious beatdowns that he put on Earl Spence Jr. But it is what it is. You know, you're not going to get every fight that you want. Hopefully we can get a very exciting fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford, because honestly, if Terence wants it, he wants it. I feel like he's proved everything, and I understand from the business aspect that maybe not wanting to fight a young guy like Boots Ennis, because at the end of the day, what is he really gaining out of it? If you think about it, you could even throw a guy like Virgil Ortiz. He's wanted that Crawford fight, he's wanted the Spence fight, but is he gonna get it? I hope that Virgil gets a big fight, but it's just not that. It's not really on the radar, because these guys aren't gonna make Crawford or Spence a lot of money unless they have belts, they have something to offer. And Boots has that, but it's at 47, and Crawford's now fighting at 54. So I think if Boots ever really wants to get that Crawford fight, he's gonna have to go to 54. And there are a lot of big names at 54 as well. You got Fondora, you got Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz, another young lion, and Earl Spence Jr. Let's see how Earl Spence looks against Fondora, and then we can talk a little bit more about where we put Spence in terms of maybe you could fight a Boots, maybe you could fight Virgil, or maybe even go for that Terence Crawford rematch eventually. There's also Charlo at 54, and you know, there are a lot of big names at 54, but for Boots Ennis, he's gonna have to, you know, just stay at 47 and do his thing as long as he pleases. But if he really prioritizes becoming, you know, that guy to beat Terence Crawford, he's gonna have to go to 54 sooner than later. He might have to put aside becoming undisputed at 47, which I think, you know, I don't know how badly he wants to collect every single belt at 47 for Boots Ennis, but at the end of the day, like, you know that the best fight and the toughest fight for you out there is at 54. So if he really wants to try and get it, and it's still not guaranteed, go to 54 and try to make it happen with Terence Crawford. It just seems like Terence Crawford, after everything Bud's been through, after his long career and a lot of years with Top Rank, and maybe taking a lot of risky fights and not really getting paid maybe what he deserved to get paid, now he's in that driver's seat where he gets to call the shots and say who he wants to fight, who he doesn't want to fight. If he's gonna fight somebody, he wants this much money, and if they're not willing to put it up, bye-bye, see you later. That's the kind of guy that Terence Crawford is evolving into, because he's becoming that businessman. It happens to every fighter in the sport. It happened to Floyd Mayweather, it happened to Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez. You know, the best fighters in the business, eventually they get to kind of handpick their opponents, and now it's going to Terence Crawford, where he's chasing that Canelo fight, and everybody's like, why not just fight Boots? Why not just fight Boots? Because it's a young lion, and at the end of the day, he already did that. You know, what would they say if he beats Boots? It's like, yeah, you beat the best 47 pounder out there. He can already say that he's done that against Earl Spence Jr. Just because he demolished Spence doesn't take away from the fact that Bud already accomplished that. And I think at this point in both of their careers, I gotta, you know, if they were to fight, I don't see Boots beating Crawford. Like, it's obviously a possible fight, a possible outcome. It's not like it's completely one-sided, but I would favor Terence Crawford in that fight at this point in their careers. I think the experience would play a major role, and as good as Boots is, I still see things that Terence Crawford could potentially expose and holes that he could exploit in Boots' game that, you know, there's nothing you can do. Sometimes the guy with experience has seen a multitude of different styles and abilities that, you know, you're still going to have to learn about and see in the ring on a big stage before you could fight a guy like Terence Crawford. I think Bud's just a dangerous fight for Boots right now, and in a scenario where he's having better and better performances. And you know, this fight that he just had against David Avanesian was a good solid performance, and you got to keep that fire going, you know, stay hot. But, you know, you just stay active, honestly. I think that if you really want to get a Terence Crawford fight, the best way to do it is to continue to stay active and you know, show your personality so that you can promote yourself so that the fans are excited to see you fight. Because honestly, you don't bring anything to the table pay-per-view wise, besides obviously the fighting. And don't get me wrong, your fighting style is great and it's enough for me to watch you on pay-per-view. But I mean, you got to break through to those casual fans. You got to give them a reason to really want to watch you fight. And I'd say that Vergil Ortiz might even be a bigger pay-per-view star than Jaron Boots Ennis right now. I think he's really got that Mexican following that, you know, Boots just doesn't have. Boots has Philly behind him. He has a lot of the, you know, the boxing world to tune in, but so does Vergil Ortiz. But Vergil Ortiz has more of that Mexican fan base where, you know, they're going to show out. So if anything, I think that Terence Crawford might fight Vergil. He might fight, and Spence might fight Vergil before, you know, Boots even gets him, because he's very, like I said, I'm trying to tell you guys that, you know, Boots is a great fighter. This isn't about talent, it's about the business of boxing. And Vergil Ortiz, another talented fighter that, you know, campaigned at 47, obviously making 54 after having the dehydration issues with his health and everything like that. You know, glad to see he's doing better now has a fight date for August 10th. That's great. Hopefully he does his thing. But for him, you know, he's also in that conversation where he's very exciting, but at the same time, maybe he doesn't have that pay-per-view star power where, you know, you put him in a pay-per-view event and then who knows, maybe, you know, it doesn't sell as much as you'd like. But I think it would sell more than Boots, to be honest. I think Vergil might be more popular than Boots. And, you know, I know he did a great gate at the Wells Fargo Center, but, you know, that's his hometown. He's supposed to do that. And I think with Vergil Ortiz, no matter where he goes, everybody's gonna watch, because, you know, he's a popular Mexican fighter and people know about him. They know how good he is, how much of a knockout artist he is. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad seeing Vergil Ortiz and Boots go at it. Those are two young guns. I think that's a big fight. They're around each other's weight class. You know, Boots moves up, clears out 47, goes to 54, fight Vergil. I think knocking off another top young gun is a good step in the right direction to put your name out there, because I really don't think he's going to get the Crawford fight. It's not worth it for Crawford, if we're being honest, because, you know, Crawford's already beaten the best 47 pounder out there besides himself, and to do it again, you know, there's only bad that can come from it. Because if, let's say, Crawford goes in there and stops Boots Ennis, they're going to say, oh, he was too green, he was supposed to do that. If he somehow loses a decision, they're going to say, you lost to that guy, you lost to him, you know, you better give him a rematch, this and that. So, you know, Crawford's in a very lose-lose situation. And, you know, Boots was telling Crawford in his post-fight press conference to sign the contract. And I don't think Boots is going to get that, because, you know, it's the business of boxing. You got to bring something to the table besides your skills. You got to bring, you know, your fan base. You got to bring, you know, a personality that people care about, so that they can want to watch you fight. They can invest in your career and literally pay their hard-earned money to watch you fight. You got to give them a reason. And for Boots, as good as he is, he's just not a superstar right now. That's the bottom line. He could evolve into that in the next 3-4 years. I expect him to evolve into that, you know, superstar at 54, maybe make 60, and that's where he finishes his career or whatever. Maybe even 68, who knows. But, you know, he looked very big at 47, so I wouldn't be surprised if he only fights like once or twice max at 47, maybe not even ever again. Go to 54 and fight the big names. If you're really chasing that money and chasing that reputation and legacy, everything for you is up there at 54 with all the big guys like Spence, Crawford, Fondora, Zoo, everybody I've mentioned already, Charlo. There are a lot of big names, Vergil Ortiz. So go after that. You know, there's not really a big reason. There's also a lot of prospects at 54. I mean, Vito Milnicki, Xander Zayas, those are top ranked fighters, but, you know, who knows, maybe we can make those fights happen as well. And maybe those guys are a little too green for a guy like Boots, but, you know, take whatever fight that'll keep you active. Take whatever's out there. Don't be too, you know, insistent on getting a big name. Sometimes, you know, the sport of boxing, it'll come to you. Good things come to those who wait. So, you know, Boots just has to be patient throughout this all. He can't be too, you know, eager and forcing something that's not there. If Crawford really doesn't want to fight him, then there's nothing he can do about that. Spence doesn't want to fight him, nothing he can do about that. That just maybe is testament to how good he is. So, you know, Boots doing his thing. I just think that him, you know, guys like Vergil, they need to maybe not worry about Crawford and Spence right now. Maybe worry a little bit more about Spence, but not so much Crawford. I think Crawford, you know, is really chasing that Canelo fight, and if he doesn't get that soon, he might just straight up retire and say, you know, I think I've proved everything, and he's already a guaranteed Hall of Famer. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Will Boots ever get that Terence Crawford fight? I don't think so, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.